There is hardly a more emotional debate than the one over whether being a homosexual is a choice. These days, most experts say it isn't. But you're about to hear a very different opinion from homosexuals who say they are now heterosexuals. And they say it is their religious faith that made it possible. Can homosexuals really go straight? Deborah Roberts has the intimate stories of gay men and women who have been there and say adamantly yes.
First, there were the full-page ads in prominent newspapers. Then a television campaign.
I love my son very much, even when he told me that he was using drugs and involved in homosexuality.
A decade ago, I walked away from homosexuality.
The people in the ad saying they were gay and are now happily heterosexual.
I was active in the gay community for 13 years.
I was in it for 6 years, then struggled for 5 years before finding true freedom.
If someone you know is struggling
with homosexuality.
But gay rights activists are suspicious that the ads are really about politics, especially, they say, when you consider who's behind them.
Have you seen what's in this thing? We've got a Yes, I Believe in God Bible.
They're the brainchild of former Right to Life lobbyist Janet Folger. She paid for the ads with funding from 15 conservative religious organizations, such as the Christian Coalition, groups solidly opposed to gay rights legislation.
Are these ads political in their intent?
They are informational in their intent.
Many people see these ads as a sly attempt to shove gays back into the closet and to strip them of any rights that they may have or may be trying to gain.
We believe that all people should be treated equally and fairly, and that is a message that says even those who've come out of homosexuality.
Still, Folger is quick to point out that the ex-gay movement is a powerful political weapon.
The fact that we have such a thing as an ex-homosexual shatters the foundation on which the homosexual argument is based on. We've been hearing for decades that you're born that way, that there's no escape. This is a condition that you're not born with by virtue of the fact that thousands have walked away.
It's a behavior. It's not like the color of your skin. It can't change. It is a behavior.
What they have decided is to create a very elaborate system of denial.
Jallen Rix is an ex-gay who's now an openly gay recording artist. He says being part of a malign minority group is not the life he would have voluntarily chosen. In fact, he spent a year and a half in an ex-gay group trying to change.
At that point, I was going to church several times a week. I was going to the groups. I was meeting in prayer groups. I was praying. I was memorizing scripture.
And what would happen?
It wouldn't take much, you know. I mean, you turn the TV on and there's a commercial of a good-looking man and you're like, it didn't work.
Even worse, he says, was the devastation he felt.
I felt like a failure. I felt like I failed the group. I felt like I failed God. I felt like I failed my family. I failed myself.
And he's far from alone. For all their claims, even the ministries admit that 70% of the gays who come to them are not successful in becoming heterosexual.
What do you say to the people who say they can't be changed, they can't be turned around?
I guess I would ask the same question. What would you say to somebody who has tried and not succeeded at any other lifestyle change? Any more than if I try to lose 10 pounds and keep failing, doesn't mean it can't be done. Doesn't mean others have done it successfully.
I think that's a very, very shallow and very simplistic view of sexuality.
As a result of his experience, Jallen wrote Ex-Gay No Way, a pamphlet for those whom he says are recovering from ex-gay ministries.
Here's your tea.
Jallen's now convinced he has no choice but to accept his homosexuality. And most experts agree that's often the wisest course. Both major American mental health associations have taken stands opposing therapies that assume gays and lesbians should change, warning that potential risks include depression and self-destructive behavior. But at least one respected voice in the mental health community says the therapy should be studied further.
There is some evidence that some individuals can make change with that kind of therapy.
Dr. Robert Spitzer is a renowned psychiatrist and a professor at Columbia University. He's currently studying 22 ex-gays, mainly men, referred to him as success stories. Nearly all were determined to change because of religious convictions.
We asked them about sexual fantasies while they were having sex with their wives. And some of them still had sexual fantasies of men, many of them did not.
But it sounds like they are suppressing their sexual orientation rather than actually changing it.
That's not the way they experienced it. I am personally convinced that for many of them, they made rather remarkable changes in their sexual orientation. Now, how many gays can do that is what is certainly an open question.
I think anybody who can obsess about something enough can really make it happen if they want to. But the people that I have seen, even the success stories, you know, in private will say, you know, I'm being tempted all the time.
The ex-gay ministries say that they have a 30% success rate, yeah?
Right.
Does that mean that most of these people do end up married?
Hardly, Barbara. In fact, they say of those 30% of the people they consider success stories, only about a quarter wind up getting married and leading the classic heterosexual life. The rest, they say, remain single and are encouraged to be celibate, so not many of them wind up that way.
Dr. Spitzer, the psychiatrist in the piece, said that it is possible that some gays can go straight. What does the American Psychiatric Association say?
They called us several times, Barbara, to make it clear that even though Dr. Spitzer is a member, that he is not speaking for them with this opinion. They are solidly opposed to these therapies. They just don't think it's in the best interest of gays and lesbians, all of them anyway, to say that they should be straight.
There is so much passion on both sides of this debate. Thank you, Deborah. We'll be right back.